Welcome to another episode of Industrial Amputation, where you can always expect the unexpected. Today with us, we have vocalist and guitarist Finnegan Bell from the band Love Ghost to discuss his upcoming new album with Tim Skold, available on Metropolis Records, November 22nd. Ben, thank you so very much for taking the time to kick it with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here.
We
Welcome
appreciate
aboard, man.
So,
Yeah.
how did you end up, how did you and Skold end up collaborating on this new album together?
Yeah, actually, it's almost one of those things where it kind of just feels like it was happened through fate. So I was a really big Scold fan. I had listened to him for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And on Halloween night at the Viper Room, 2022, I was at a concert and I saw Tim Skold there. And
Mm.
just as a fan, I was like, hey, I came up to him. I was like, hey, is it cool if I get a picture with you? He
Mm.
said, sure. So you can find it somewhere on Instagram or X or something like that. I'm in like a Indiana Jones costume for
Oh, right on, man.
Halloween. And yeah, so we took that picture and I posted it, and actually his wife slash manager, Erin Skold, listened to some of my songs, and the two of them reached out to me maybe like a month or so later and said, "Hey, like what you're doing is actually really cool. Like we really like your music." And I was like, I was shocked. I was like, "Oh my God, this is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
awesome!" And yeah, I got lunch with them and we discussed making a song. And that first song was Payback. It came out last year. The music video has now has 1 million views on YouTube. And then Metropolis Records got involved, signed us for an album deal. And yeah, we basically spent, another 6 to 8 months writing an album together. And yeah, it's coming out next month, November 22nd. It's kind of all surreal. It's a really, really cool
Right on, man.
experience.
That's a freaking great story, dude.
That's
I
Yeah,
love
awesome.
it when it works out like that. Fucking kismet, man.
Yeah,
super, super blessed, super
Yeah.
lucky.
yeah. Jeez. So, so want to talk about the writing process? When how do you guys have you guys developed the writing process and stuff for your songs?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just, for me, it's always a little bit difficult to describe the writing process. Was always like writing is something that's so for me was always so intuitive. Like it clicks or sometimes it doesn't click. And yeah, for we just kind of we got into the studio. We had really good chemistry, and like a lot of songs, it would come from Tim would have an idea, or maybe some days, a few days, like I'd be playing guitar, and he would say, "Oh, actually, Uh, do hit that note instead, hit
Mhm.
that note." So we would just kind of, and it just felt like electricity. Just every single time that we would get together, we would have a new idea. We would have um, a new song, basically.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome, man.
That's the rhythm. That's
Yeah.
good.
So the video for Ski Mask is very intriguing. I was watching that yesterday and I'm like, this is really cool. You worked with King Zab, who was an old friend of mine
Oh, cool.
and a huge fucking talent. I knew he was going places years ago, but I reached out to him last night and went, dude, I just saw your video for Finn's. And he's like, oh my God, Finn is awesome. So Zab likes you, dude. That's fucking awesome. But how did you guys meet, man?
I love Zap. He's so talented.
Yes, he is.
And actually, kind of, I met Zab at the 1720 warehouse in downtown Los Angeles. Kind of a similar situation. It was a show, and we just started talking outside. And then I saw his some of his videos that he'd done. I was like, whoa, this guy is really talented. He's really cool. And
Yeah.
he's based in LA. So yeah, we actually all three of the music videos that Love Ghost X Gold has released were all directed by Zab.
Oh,
He's
right on, man.
definitely our guy.
Yeah,
He's
I've noticed you've got a lot of really big talent in your corner. That's fucking fantastic, man.
yeah, he's
Like,
super talented. He's really
yeah,
great.
right on. You
Hmm.
said the song is influenced by how an over-medicated youth can find it hard to manage the ups and downs of life as an adult. You seem to have some experience to draw on, sadly. We can relate to it all too well. Bringing this into the light does help stigmatize that whole mental health issue sort of scenario, and you are actively being a positive effect. We appreciate that. Thank you. What are some of your personal experiences that led to such a profound epiphany?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I mean, essentially, kind of just like a lot of uh, people my age. As a kid, I was on amphetamines from a young age because I had ADD, ADHD, and had a lot of effects from that. And I definitely did feel stigmatized, and I had kind of a bumpy road. I was a bit of a problem child. I got like kicked out of a few schools and
Okay.
whatnot. But basically, it's just I think that unfortunately, the pharmaceutical industry is extremely lucrative, especially if they people when hook them when they're young.
Yeah,
And um,
yeah. It's a
yeah,
straight up drug dealer mentality, man. It really is.
Yeah.
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 Basically, I just kind of wanted to, just write a song about it because it's an issue that a lot of my generation faces, and it's something that, I did have a personal experience with. I've been on a variety of different, I had a variety of experiences with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of just like it's basically kind of being taking the world hostage by your own addictions. And like I said, I did have experience with that when I was younger, especially with pharmaceuticals and
Mhm.
amphetamines, benzos. So it's good to write songs that you feel in your heart and that you feel in your
Yeah.
soul. And that was just when I heard the music to that song, that's kind of just the first picture that kind of was painted in my head. Just being underneath that silver sky um, of those burdens.
Yeah. No,
What,
that's brilliant, beautiful, man.
what
I'm
do you
I'm
see as
glad
the
you're
biggest?
around. I'm glad you've gotten through that too. Sorry. Go ahead, Joey.
Well, I was just going to ask, what do you see as the biggest roadblock to dealing with this in sort of a healthier way than just throwing, meds at someone?
Honestly, I I think that just probably just more open communication, more being able to talk about mental health in a more fluid way and being able to talk in a more honest way, I think could be really helpful as opposed to just putting a temporary band-aid over
Yeah.
the over the issues and looking at that as a solution is yeah, there's just a lot of negatives with them, even though there are some positives too that come with
Mhm.
pharmaceuticals. But yeah.
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 Well, it's good to see someone your age that's able to grasp that and kind of dig their way out faster than most people are able to. I mean, I spent 25 years and not
Yeah.
before I had to go on pharmaceuticals. I was on meth for like 25 years. So didn't even realize at the time I was self-medicating. So
Yeah, and Adderall is so chemically close to meth
yeah, yeah,
in general. And,
yeah. I did Adderall, on a couple of occasions, but not because it was prescribed. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, I know one thing. Yeah.
yeah.
I got a question.
Absolutely.
Is that
So,
Oh, Levi, you
Levi?
got a question?
not, So Tim lives in LA too?
Tim, yeah, he does.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
Sure.
LA seems to be the melting pot of many other rockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely the city, has like a very deep music history, and there's a lot of, creative energy here. There's a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why a lot of people that are drawn to music end up
Yeah,
migrating one way or
Yeah.
the other.
yeah,
Oh, for
yeah. We were
sure.
we were we're with Thrill Kill. We're based in from Chicago, San Fran, and then LA.
Cool. Yeah.
And even though and in LA, that's Echo Park is really a good neighborhood, a good part of LA, in the city, you know.
Yeah, I actually love Echo Park. I hang out there a lot, and I especially really like the Echo Park Lake.
Yeah,
I walking around there. I would have a lot of fun
yeah.
memories there, and I like that music venue too, the Echo. It's really
Oh,
cool.
yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's awesome. That's awesome. I haven't been out there in a couple of years, but I like it out there. I like it, but I can't move to LA, so I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it's not for everybody. I kind of split half my time right now between LA and Mexico, actually.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
hey, pasa.
What part of
Yeah.
Mexico do you venture to?
I'm usually Mexico City. Actually the bulk of Love Ghost following is south of the border. So I'm leaving on Wednesday to go play like 3 or 4 shows down there and do some stuff. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. And there's a lot of misconceptions about Mexico, in my opinion, in general. But it's really cool, especially for like music. Like they love rock music
Oh,
down
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And Mexico City is a good mecca for like, the dark industrial stuff too. They've got a very booming scene for that down there. It's
Oh
mm,
yeah. I mean, it's
yeah.
really like it's kind of like almost like a music mecca. Like there's just so
okay.
much going on in Mexico City. It's also the streaming capital of the world, just in terms of
This really.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
I didn't
part of
know
that is
that.
also just because there's so many people that live there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say just people just love music in
Yeah.
Mexico, particularly Mexico City.
It's a universal language, man.
It is the universal language.
Yay.
Well, what made you want to be a musician, Finn?
What made me want to be a musician?
Yeah.
It actually kind of goes hand in hand with some of the issues that we were talking about that I faced when I was younger. Basically, I would have a lot of mental health struggles when I was younger, and one of the things that I would turn to a lot was music. Like I would even argue at times that music saved my life. Like a lot of times when I was feeling depressed or suicidal
Yeah.
or upset, I would just listen to music. And eventually, I kind of wanted to replicate the experience that my favorite artist gave me for other people. I wanted to create songs that really resonated with people on an emotional level, and kind of just the whole healing aspect of music
Hmm.
really drew me in. And yeah, I just felt like that was just something that, kind of first became a natural interest of mine. And I feel like it's a sin to not follow your interests. Like you have an interest for a reason. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I decided that I wanted to become a musician. And I even like technically I started Love Ghost when I was 13, and I would just kind of play shows in LA, and I had like a SoundCloud account and YouTube channel that I would upload videos to or upload songs to or just
Wow.
play these. So I've been on this journey for a minute, and
Right on. That's still up and available, yeah? Your
yeah,
SoundCloud and,
yeah.
and the YouTube and everything?
Oh yeah.
Because I've got to find the rabbit hole and get in there. I dig what you're doing. Um, as a spooky kid in Seattle since the 80s, I was front row for the grunge thing. I can truly appreciate that sound bleeding through the harder industrial edges of your music for sure. On the tracks I've heard so far, anyway, there's a bit of nostalgia in there for me, if I'm honest, in all the good ways. Can you give me a bit about your background and what led you to the sound you've achieved?
Thank you. Yeah, so really grunge was kind of like the first music that I fell in love with, particularly
Mm.
Nirvana and Alice in Chains.
Yes.
And I would just listen to a lot of grunge music all the time when I was younger. So I think that when I started writing music, it was kind of just ingrained in my DNA in the blueprint because I just had listened to so many hours of Nirvana or Alice in Chains or
Yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots. And yeah, I just really connected with that whole aesthetic, with that whole scene, that whole music. And yeah, I'd say Kurt Cobain for me was kind of like a childhood hero of sorts. He was someone that I really connected to.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
niece has the same thing with Kurt Cobain. It was her dad's favorite band too. My brother-in-law's favorite band. And I was there at the beginning of that as well. So incredible. Do you have any particular album or band that you go to that really resonates with you? I know you've named a couple of the bands, but I mean, any when you're really wanting to get back, is there any particular album that really stands out?
I'd say Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains.
That's a
Um,
great fucking album,
yeah,
man. That
Great
takes me
EP,
all the way
yes.
back. Yeah.
when it comes to grunge music, that album just actually technically is it an EP or is
It
it
I think
is.
it's an EP.
One of the
But
best-selling EPs, by the way.
yeah,
yeah. So but that Jar of Flies just really resonated with me. Kind of just brings
yeah,
me back to that. Brings back a lot of
yeah,
cool memories. So I'd say Jar of Flies.
right on.
Yeah.
Have you heard the first release by Soundgarden, Screaming Life?
Actually, no. I like
Dude,
Soundgarden. I haven't done a ton of research on them though. What is the name of their first album?
the name of the first it's a mini release. It's called Screaming Life.
Screaming Life. I gotta
Yeah,
check that.
I'll send you a link. But it's essential listening, as is anything Mudhoney. Green River, I think you'd love to. But yeah, the sounds coming in are nostalgic and authentic, and I'm digging it big time. So
Thank you so
well,
much, man.
well
I
done.
appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the new album with Love Ghost X Gold is coming out November 22nd. And it's available right now for pre-order on vinyl and CD and digital. Are there any plans to do a tour to support it?
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
We'll
cross that
see.
bridge when it comes to
We'll
it.
see. Awesome. We'll have you back on if that happens. We'll probably have you back on if that doesn't happen. Honestly, you're pretty cool, fan.
I like the way you think.
Right on, right on. Are we going to see any singles from this release?
From the album?
Yeah.
Ski Mask and Nightshade and Cocaine were kind of the two singles. Right now there's no more
Oh,
singles.
I mean physical releases.
Physical release.
Yeah, like a 12-inch or,
Well, yeah, there is going to be a vinyl and a CD for the record.
oh, yeah, no, I meant just for the singles specifically. Or are you going to be putting
I
out
think
anything like that?
I don't know. It's possible, but definitely the album will be on CD and vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm honest. Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure about that information. So
Okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
Well, what can we expect from you and Scold going forward?
A really cool musical journey on November 22nd. That album, when it yeah, if you there's like it almost feels to me it feels, and I mean this in a cool way, but it feels theatrical. Like there's Not going
Yeah.
to give too much away, but I don't know. I just think it's really special, and I think that that album is. I mean, I feel so egotistical right now, but it's really cool. So just
I'm amped to hear the rest of it, man. I really am.
That's good to feel that way.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
right.
definitely good, man.
Yeah.
Show the power. Show the
No
power.
shame in feeling pride in what you do, man. It's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. Tim seems like a very. I never met him, but it seems like he's got his foot forward on powering up good things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He had one hell of a career. He's super smart. He's super
Yeah.
intelligent. So I really kind of listened to everything that he was saying in the studio sessions, and he's super talented in the way that
Yeah.
he
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
works. Really
Yeah.
cool.
No, the stuff he did with Marilyn Manson was absolutely epic. And
Yeah,
yeah, he's got a hell of a fucking portfolio, man. I dig it.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love what he did with KMFDM and MDFMK. I think it was
Yeah.
phenomenal what he
Yes.
added to the band.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, you've talked about playing upcoming shows in Mexico, but what about your band Love Ghost? What can we expect from that in the future?
Yeah. So I have some collabs coming with other artists. I have a lot of unreleased music right now. I basically have, if I drop 2 songs a month, I have enough unreleased music until 2027.
Holy
So
crap. Nice, dude.
yeah, I'm just kind of always writing. I have 2 unreleased albums that I'll release next year. Um, I actually just did a collaboration with a band in England. They're really cool. They're called Skinner Brothers. There might be a UK tour next year.
Yeah.
Well,
Sweet.
that would be super sick. Yeah, there's going to be a Mexico tour in February. So, and yeah, there's a lot of really cool collaborations coming, and such as I have a song with Reverie Love that's coming soon. And yeah, just basically just a lot of music.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's good. Try to say it like that.
Yeah.
What is your earliest memory of music and art having a visceral effect on you?
Yeah, I'd say my earliest memory of music that made a visceral effect on me was when I was like 7 and I found a Nevermind CD in my parents' drawer of CDs, and I listened to it, and I just remember I would just listen to that album kind of like on repeat religiously. And at the time, I had this like stuffed animal, and I would like dance with the stuffed animal, and that was kind of
Dude,
like
that's freaking brilliant, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
psychological to me that
Yeah.
I love music for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that album brings back great memories for me too. That was a fun time. That was a really fun time when that album came out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Did you like In Utero? Was it an album that you really cared for?
What's that?
Did you like care for In Utero, the album that came out after that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I love all the Nirvana records, but yeah, in Utero is really cool from an artistic standpoint. I mean, I've heard people describe it as being a commercial suicide. I don't know if that's true or not,
Supposedly,
but I just think it's dope. So I don't
Yeah.
care. Yeah, it's a great album. So
they went back to their roots and kind of were what they started with. Or Butch Vig, who's an amazing person, really put a lot of polish in Nirvana for
Yeah.
Nevermind. But that when working with
yeah,
Steve Albini, just kind of in essence what captured really what Nirvana is. And
Yeah.
I just have a lot of love for that album, In Utero, and Nevermind and Bleach as well. But
Yeah.
I love In
Yeah.
Utero.
Bleach is one of the big ones for me.
Please.
But
I
yeah.
would agree.
I
Yeah.
think they recorded for $600. Is that right, Joe?
Something like that. Yeah. I had his guitar for a minute. He had plastered it to a wall in an apartment in Seattle, and one of my friends got it and gave it to me, and then I was high and gave it to someone else like a fucking idiot. So
Yeah, you'd have to be high to do that.
It happens. We've all gotten high and given away Kurt Cobain's guitar.
I've done some
Yeah.
crazy stuff while I've been in a different state.
That
So
one's up
yeah.
Speedball. Speedball.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. No, I didn't mix the stuff. I wouldn't do that.
Uh,
I,
you know,
I never liked the downers. I always liked the uppers. I guess that was part of the late diagnosed ADHD that I'm in my 50s realizing, holy shit, so much makes more sense now. So
Like different speeds. That's what
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
literal speeds.
Yeah,
Speed.
yeah,
Solo.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, yep, yep. No, it's a wild world out there right now. So and
Yeah.
it's so cerebral to realize this stuff and then look back at the life and kind of see the trajectories and all the places where they crashed and realize, well, there were very, very good reasons for that.
Mm,
So, you
mm.
know, it's a little bit more of the self-awareness thing. So it's fun. But I'm glad I got through that, and I'm glad that other people are able to get through it faster than I did. So
Yeah, and it's also it's a journey, and usually the journey is not linear. So,
no,
um,
Mhm.
uh, if we're talking about sobriety specifically, like people fall off the wagon, people do all
Yeah.
types of
yeah,
things, but it's kind of I feel like it's almost like it's something that's kind of deeper than human nature. Because even there's studies about frogs in the wild that are constantly like licking different, poisonous plants or whatever to
yeah.
alter their state of mind. There's just
It's
something about existence
dolphins
in
playing with
general that
pufferfish.
is slightly boring,
Yeah,
and people want to alter accept their
yeah,
perception in one way.
yeah. I used it in a spiritual way for a long time as well. So, or at least told myself I did. So, but it definitely, I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change any of it. I am who I am and I dig who I am and I wouldn't be that person without the journey I've been on. So I know I've got a lot of friends in the scene and that are clean now and they kind of look back at it really like it was a horrible, horrible experience. And for them, I'm sure it was. There was a lot of good stuff that happened to me during that time. And so it's a mixed bag. I don't have any desire to do meth anymore. Though. No, no way. So
That's
but
good. Congratulations. That's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, man. I appreciate that. So is there any words of wisdom for younger artists out there that you might want to share?
Be brave and have the courage to not get discouraged when things are not working your way. Because the key, in my opinion, uh, the key to having some form of success in the music industry is having resilience, is not getting, because it's extremely competitive, it's extremely cutthroat. A lot of things are going to go wrong before they go right. And, be grateful for every win that you do have along the way, even if it feels insignificant. There's a lot of artists right there that can't even afford to make a song,
Yeah.
let alone also have the opportunity to release it or play shows or play good shows that are packed. So I would just say, stay resilient, try to picture in your head the reasons why you love music and why you want to keep on and why you started in the first place, as opposed to getting bogged down in the minutia of the
Yeah.
hardships.
Yeah.
Right on.
Perfect. Well, is
Excellent.
there anything else you'd like to talk about or promote today with us?
Actually, yeah, why not? I was in a horror movie called Kirsten Baja, and it's directed by
Oh,
Dan Phillips. from all the Rob Zombie movies,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
yeah, he was actually he's Herman Munster in the Munsters remake, and
Yeah, they just
all
brilliant.
yeah, so he directed this movie, Kirsten Baja. I'm one of the main characters, and it comes out October 29th. So
All right.
Sweet.
Halloween.
Sweet.
exactly.
Right on, man. That's freaking awesome. We'll have to get some promo material so we can start promoting that too.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Definitely.
I'll be there with bells on. We're horror movie fans here for
You
sure.
have no
Yeah.
idea, Finn.
Yeah.
All around.
We're all in the
Awesome.
horror movie world. We're going like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well, do you have anything else? Dealer's choice.
Um, no, I don't really have anything else. Just
All right.
for having me on.
Dude,
Yeah.
It's real. It was cool.
been fucking amazing, man. You are quite a breath of fresh air. I'm very much looking forward to seeing where you go with this. You
Me
know,
too.
like I've seen King's Ab from we actually worked in thrift together back in like 10 years ago. And that was how we met, working in a thrift store together. And
Very
he was just a fucking badass then, man. And it's been a fucking hell of a journey for him. I'm very excited to see where you go too. Keep that shit up, dude. Seriously.
Thank
All
you.
right. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you so much for doing what you do. The help to destigmatize mental health is huge. So don't let the system grind you down and make that go away. That's a fucking big thing, fan. So honestly, kiddos, get your asses over to Bandcamp. Get the pre-order in for the new Love Ghost X Scold album. You can find the video for Ski Mask on YouTube. Check out all the King's Ab stuff. Check out the Love Ghost stuff. That's you can find that on SoundCloud too, apparently. And check it out. You're not going to be disappointed. Gang, that wraps up another episode of Industrial Amputation. We appreciate your support. The show is dedicated to our wonderful friend Jason Lupo. We'd also like to ask if you'd please consider stopping by the Levi GoFundMe fundraiser and making a donation. And please share it. We do really appreciate that. You'll find links on our Facebook page. Please be good to yourselves. My wish is for you all to see the world with new eyes, like a child, unburdened by your experience. Embrace the wonder around you and don't forget to breathe. Love, hugs, and belly rubs. Cheers.
Yes.